Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Today to talk about fun or entertainment or something. Something that I've been probably, I don't want to say like meaning to talk about for a while, but it basically came up last night. Something happened. And I was like, all right, I think I just need to talk about this. And yeah, we'll talk about it for the next hour or so before Austria, Turkey. Or for those of you who are watching the replay, you already know what happened in Austria, Turkey. Thanks everyone for coming in. Scosmo, Toby, and Bob Franklin. Of course, I'm just going to start calling him like Podium Franklin, Bob Podium. Anyway, Scosmo, Toby, and Bob on the podium. Congratulations. Johanna, tonight, I think I was just slightly early. Slightly. I was sitting here and I'm like, I'm ready. Let's just go, which is unlike me. Coincidentally, I don't have a guest today, so maybe that's something to do. Major NFT, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Sam Tai found the time to come in after watching all these Euros. Thanks, Sam. ZM Star, what's up? Thank you. So I was looking through my cards yesterday, not looking through, but I was, checking out my collection, seeing if I could add any pieces, because that's basically what I've been doing during Euros and Copa, that I don't have competitive lineups now. And I had a soul-crushing 391 points while going for the 400-point threshold this game week. And so when I do that, I'm like, I'll make myself feel better by getting a new card, because I always feel better when you get a new card, whether you trade for it or you usually when you buy it, except when you like send an offer to Pavel and he accepts immediately. That's, you start to question those things. But the point was that I was looking through my cards, and I found this one that I had recently gotten, and I ended up tweeting about it. And it's a player whose name I don't really even know how to say. It's basically, let me pull it up here for you guys, because I'm not great at pronunciations, as you guys know. But Loom Chauna. I'm sure there's a better way to say it, but he's French too, so it's probably a little bit. But anyway, he's part of the Ren collection that I've been working on. And don't worry, this is not like a whole thing of me going through my cards. That's like the last thing I want to do on a show. But I got this card recently. It's a jersey mint for the Ren collection. And I realized last night that it's also an age mint. Vita's saying it's Chawana. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so I got this card. So it's 17 of 100. He wears number 17, and he's 17 years old. Vita's now saying it's not Chawana. Chauna. I don't know. But Sam Tai's on the Chauna train as well. But anyway, I was like, wow, that's a really cool card. And it's a rookie card. And it's like a collection monster. Not that the age mint has anything to do with it, but there's just like this gorgeous symmetry. I love the honeycomb cards. They're like one of my favorite designs that Sorare had. And what's interesting about this year of rookie cards, and I think it was AJ who said that he thinks this is the best one, the best like rookie card design, is that I feel like this was the last card design that looked like a physical card. And so it has this kind of like hologramish stuff to it. The rookie card is feels hologrammy, if that's a word. But it does feel like cards after this don't really have that same like physical card look. They're just like, hey, these are NFTs, or like, hey, 3D, they could be made out of anything. Who knows? And so I just got really excited about this card, Alex. So to be honest, like I didn't pick this card. Like, it's in the collection, and that's why I have it. I'm trying to get the entire collection. It's going to take me years to do it. But I do have like a number now of cards in this collection. I'm at 20 of 29, 2 one-ofs, and 9 jersey mints. So you can just think of how much money I wasted getting these cards, particularly because the best thing to do about collections is to like get the good cards and then you build around it. But instead I have like 2 good cards and now I'm building around it. So I'm missing the really good ones like Doku, Tel, Guarassi. I was trying to get an Alamdar who was presumed to be the only starting goalkeeper of these three from the collection. And he tore his ACL last week. And I had like multiple offers out, and I'm guessing those people wish they had sold. Vita says how not to collect. I don't know if that's like not to collect, how not to, but like it's one way to do it. But I'm getting there, and I just realized that I part of my Sorare experience is working on these collections and being able to build them not by just like constantly depositing money to get these cards, but it's a way for me to use either thresholds that I've won, or in-season competition cash that I've won, or cards that I've won and then sold, or cards I've won and traded to kind of build this collection out. And so this collection, I basically have three collections that I work on. I guess I could put it that way. This Midtjylland one is a complete collection, and I'm the only one on Sorare who has a complete collection from this year, because this card right here, August Prisk, whatever his name is the only card he has on the platform. And so while I'm only second in the leaderboard, I'm the only one with a complete set. But basically this Ren collection from 2021, the 2020 River Plate, and then I kind of work on the 2022 Midtjylland one, but not really. And then the Super Rare, there's too many. But anyway, so I was realizing that a lot of my entertainment from Sorare is looking for these cards and figuring out ways to acquire cards that make, like, to fill this collection, or to get a certain number of jersey mints, or like I like that stuff. And the game is so much more to me than just let me make the best lineup and let me try to win as much as possible, because I appreciate, like, that's where the game can go. Spend as much money as you can and then try to win as much money as you can. But I've always been somebody who was much more interested in, like, winning on, not, I don't want to say winning on my terms, but like winning in ways that are just different than let me go get the best cards. And it kind of came up yesterday on the show with Sean, when we were talking about Premier League cards, and everybody who is serious about the Prem should have a Rodri, or 3 of them, or 12 of them if you want to play them in Champions, and all this stuff. And Sean was like, yeah, if you can spend, he went from like $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000, like throughout the show. And he's like, if you want to spend $15,000, I think you can win at least half of that back, or $10,000. I don't even remember the numbers. And he's like, and you still have all the cards left. And it was like, I don't want to do that. I would rather find different ways to play. And I think one of the differences, I mean, there are plenty of differences between the way that I play and the way Sean plays. And I think Sean is fairly certain that the way he plays is like the right way. And that's fine. Like, he can think that. But obviously it's not the way that everybody can play. There's some people who have what feel like unlimited budgets, or just extremely high budgets. And therefore, when you're in that situation, you less look at ROI and you look more at, like, volume of returns. And so, like, if Sean could turn $10,000 into $20,000, he would rather do that than turn $10 into $1,000. If that makes sense. Like, it's actually the raw number that matters. And when you start to consider the raw number in terms of what you're winning, you need to outlay more, because it costs more to get that money back. And so I've just never really played that way. And not only that, is that it's not that I necessarily try to win with, like, the cheapest team possible. I kind of tinkered with that a little bit in Limited a while ago, and it just wasn't the way I wanted to play. And so the realization that I basically had over the last few days, and yesterday's show, and then this Chauna realization is I'm at a point in my gallery now where I would like to try to win with what I have and make what I have better, meaning make my collections a little deeper, or if I have the, most of the cards that I want from a certain team or league or whatever, and like try to get those. But I'm not really interested in like starting new. And I don't mean like selling everything and starting over, but like I don't really play Champion that much or Premier League. I don't play any Bundesliga or La Liga. And I kind of had this thought recently, and it was with talking to Harry Trades, who I talk to every day. But it was a video he did with Quinny, who I see is here. Quinny, what's up? Thanks for coming in. And the U23 video they did, and it was like, man, I do have some U23 players. Maybe I want to play some U23. And like to be honest, my actual idea for how, and again, it goes back to like how I want to play the game on my terms, was back to this Ren collection, which is 3 years old. But you can line up a U23 line still, like now we just crossed over to a new year. You can still make a U23 lineup from this season. So, and the problem is that Alamdar was part of it, and he is now out. Pepe Bonnet is in this third division in France. I'm not even sure I don't think he was on loan. They're both U23 still, but like if you had both of them, Truffert, is it Truffert or Truffert? Who speaks French here? He's still U23. Obviously, Kamavinga. And while you could play with Doku and Tell, I can also play with Kamal Sulemana or Chauna. I hate saying it every time because I feel like I'm butchering it. But anyway, so what I did last season with this was like, I'll just run this in Truffier. Really? Anyway, sorry, Quinny was trying to help me. So last season, I played most of these guys with a new season Steve Mandanda, because I happened to get one. And I was like, I was just running a Ren stack. But now it's like more guys are not playing for Ren. Like Assignon went to Burnley, and my God, he was horrible. Romain Del Castillo is at Brest. I think that card is like a cheat code because it's a forward card. And so all these guys are in different spots. Sounds like Borjo might go to Sevilla. Berger Mealing, obviously, now at Copenhagen. So like it was kind of cool to be able to play what looked like a Ren stack. And it's like, oh no, all the guys actually play separately. And I wanted to do that for U23. But I don't have the passion for U23. I don't really want, like, I don't know. I used to play it. Harry actually did a video. If anybody hasn't seen it, go check it out over on his channel, Harry Trades, about a 50-pound U23 lineup. And there was a combination of Nicholas Heidel and Jonas Auer from Rapid Vienna. I won't give away any more, Harry, don't worry. But I used to have that combination back when I played U23. And it was just like, I don't know if I really want to go through all of that. And it just kept coming back to like, I would like to try to win with what I have. And again, it's not like, I'm not buying cards anymore. But I just feel like my gallery is at a place now where I want to see the fruits of my labor. And I don't even want to call it labor, because I do like this. That's the fun part of playing Sorare to me, is figuring out how to make the best lineup possibilities and combinations with the cards I have. And the Sorare data lineup builder is like invaluable for that. Like I could not do it without that. But then using what I win from those to get back what I want, which is just improving kind of what I have. And so I keep going into my gallery, because one thing I really like doing is trading. Like I try to use the bots all the time. I don't use Pavel as much anymore because it just feels like he openly robs me, although I literally bought a card from him the other day, so I guess I can't say that. But turning cards into other cards is the fun part of the game for me. And so I like building lineups, sweating my lineups, and tracking how my cards do. Is probably dead last on my list. of like things I enjoy about Sorare. And it's not to say I don't enjoy it, but it's just not a big part for me of like setting notifications, hoping my guys get goals. Like usually when football is going on the weekends, I'm out, I'm doing stuff. And so it's a different experience. I get it. Excuse me. Sorry. So it's all the peripheral stuff about Sorare that provides the entertainment for me. And I'll admit I'm in this weird spot, and I don't think there are many people who are like this. But, and I kind of mentioned it on this channel before, that the lines between working and playing get fuzzy for me. That sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'm using the trade builder, trying to figure out a trade. And it's like, this isn't work, because I wouldn't be doing this. Like that part of the job, that part is not part of my job. But like using Sorare data and figuring out like what people are talking about and like what I want to get out of it, and maybe thinking of ways to improve our tools, like that is part of my job. So it's a very strange dynamic. But it then gets to the point where I'm like on Sorare data a ton. And I realize that there are plenty of people who are not in my situation who are also on Sorare data a ton. And I realize that a lot of the entertainment that they get from Sorare is by doing research on Sorare data. What cards are available on the market? What players should I be getting? Looking at the player rankings, trying to make trades to people, just seeing where prices were, taking in all of the Sorare content that's out there, even though there's kind of less now than there has been previously. And so it's just kind of like this encompassing part of Sorare that has nothing to do with like Sorare itself, but there's like a tremendous entertainment provided by Sorare data that has nothing to do with these shows. But just like if you're on Sorare data and like Malky said, yeah, jersey mint searching, like that's fun. That's fun to see like, oh, what jersey mints are available? How much more are they going for than the floor? Is the person selling them reasonable or not? Oh, a bot has them. Does that help me at all? But like I do that all the time. Malky, like literally I just go to the market, and I don't do this at all with the auctions, but I guess I could. But it's just like, okay, what jersey mints are out there? We've got Michael Chang, former tennis player. He was actually like my favorite tennis player growing up. We got a Brant Bronico. Shout out to Trippin' B. Like he should get that. But I basically just go to the offers, and sometimes and what I was saying, the fact that I have like specific collections that I'm working on, I still just do this. I just look at all of the jersey mints available on the secondary market, and I'm just like, what's out there? Not necessarily to start new collections, although that's absolutely how they start. But like, if you're somebody who wants to start this, is that Racall? I don't even know if they go by Racall, but like 4 jersey mints right there. $4. Are those all jersey mints? $4 for 4 jersey mints right there. Go get them. There's a Darren Asprilla. He just got a move to somewhere else. Wow, Jack Price. Whew. But Sam Tai, go get that Shunin. And it's like, hey, maybe I want those. And I've actually gotten to the point now where I like jersey mints so much, like I like them more than one ofs, that sometimes I'm like, if there's a player out there that I want, and I'm like, oh, there are jersey mints available, like I'll just go get it, because I'm like, jersey mints are just really, really fun. All right, sorry, I fell back on the chat, so I'll get back. Toby got 11 of 11 Turkey and hit the Austria center back pairing. I love the prediction competition. Toby's doing really, really well. Toby, I would love it if you like kept going after Copa and Euros, because it looks like you have like a skill and a gift to doing this that you absolutely should keep going. Vita said, being convinced you're right at the very least has the merit to avoid spending hours making decisions for very little progress. Obviously, you're actually right. It's better. Yeah. And the nice thing about Sorare is that very rarely do you run out of time to be right or wrong. Like you just keep going. I haven't gotten it right yet. But when I get it right, you better believe I'm going to tell you I got it right. Major Entity said, I enjoy the challenge of the gamble of scouting. That's a fun way to put it. Quinny's trying to get me to buy in 2023-24 Ren collection. I don't think there's anyone on the current team that wasn't in that past collection that I want. Malky said, it's undoubtedly more satisfying winning with players and teams you actually like. Yeah, totally. Hell, not even winning, just thinking you can win with them. Yeah, maybe that's, yeah. Toby said, I think it makes sense because you spent a lot of time building your gallery and structuring it up. My gallery always felt messy, so I'm restructuring it now to get where you are, kind of. Please don't confuse my gallery for something that's like well thought out and structured. There are pieces of it that certainly are, and those are the ones I tend to talk about and focus on because the other ones just make me look stupid. But there is like a building process, and not to say that like my gallery's done. You're never really done. But it does feel like I'm in a place now where I'm willing to not make like these huge wholesale changes, particularly ones that I made like when they announced the new gameplay in the transition period. And I say that as somebody who has lost some major cards in to Qatar or Saudi Arabia or injury or whatever. Shout out to Alexander Schultz and Hayato Araki. Ugh. But it feels like I'm at a point now where it's like, I look at my gallery and I'm like, these are the guys I want. These are the guys I want to like go to battle with, to make it extremely cliche and dramatic. Malky said it's fun checking people's galleries and seeing what they've been up to. Yeah, I agree. Sam said, agree with you, Laird. And usually this is the time I'm buying cards to prep for the new season. Sadly, with in-season Classic, I have to keep all the powder dry until August. This is, I think, so I have no intention of spending early to get in-season cards. It's just not, I just don't want to do it, basically. I feel like I'm going to be spending way more than I want to get competitions I don't really care about. But I think it's probably the right thing to do is to not spend right now and just do it. And the funny thing is that it feels like Classic cards, at least the ones that I'm looking for, are getting to a price where I'm like, oh, I should go get those. And then, yeah, there's like the Saudi rumor or just any transfer rumor comes up and you're just like, oh, I guess I like can't really move on that yet. And like I was going to get another Wendell from Zenit, and it just seems like he's probably leaving and going to Brazil or somewhere. And it's like, man, I just don't want to have to like get another one and then lose that card too. Same thing with like Douglas Santos. Like I'm this multiple versions of the same player, like cards of the same player. Like I'm in on that now. Like I'm going to see how this plays out. And I almost had it hit last game week, but goalies just ended me. But where was I going with that? Oh, right. So like, it feels like we're in this lull because people aren't trying to acquire cards, but like I'm trying to acquire cards and it still feels kind of like a lull because I'm just like, just wait. Like, I'm not sure we're going to see like this huge increase in Classic card prices going into the season like we normally do, specifically because I think people are going to be waiting for the in-season cards, or they start spending it on these pre-order cards and we don't necessarily see such an effect on the Classic side, but I don't know. It's a good joke. DJ Local said, same for the MLB side. I have my favorite team, the Astros, always in some contest. Yeah, I think that's what you should do. Absolutely. I probably should. So I haven't bought an MLB card in almost 2 years. Like it'll be 2 years in like September, basically. And I have many more baseball cards than I have cards that I bought. Sorry to do a quick baseball thing here. But if I just go to my manager, so this is also available for all Star members. Your manager stats is like broken down. So basically my realized card profit and loss is minus 2,500. My gallery valuation is 4,239, so $1,700 technical profit. But like if you look at this, so I think it was October of 2022. Yeah. So like, well, we let's see. Right here. Once I got to 81 cards, I stopped buying. This was the off season, obviously, so there's no reason to buy. And then the new season started. And so I've gone from 84 to 229 baseball cards without buying one. Like everything in this period is rewards. And I'm at the point where I feel like if I put in some more money, I could be really competitive and just competitive or more competitive. Like I don't win like that often, but I'm like close enough where I'm like, man, I really should just like make some more stacks. But anyway, this isn't a baseball show. Hey Eagle, you're probably piling up the market credits. Yeah, I hate market credits. Well, obviously, like I'm not buying cards, so like I get it. But I have currently I have 25% off up to $485 in market credits. I mean, I should just do it. I should just do it. I'm not going to the All-Star game. Hey Eagle. I don't know, where is it this year? I guess I could just look it up. Seattle. Oh, that would have been fun. Arlington? Is this wrong? T-Mobile Park. Oh, previous event. Excuse me. Previous. No, I'm not going. Arlington or Seattle. Oh, that's right. Last year was Seattle. I'm not going. I'm not going to the MLS All-Star game either. I might go to the All-Star game next year, MLS in Austin. Malky says, so how do you scout? Do you look at L15 or L40, buy players you've seen highlights of or recommendations from people? Interested to know your process. I do very little actual scouting of players. I would say of the hundreds of players I have in my gallery, other than Midtjylland, I've seen most of them play. I mean, I've seen most of which I've never seen play in any like reasonable fashion. I had somebody once during a stream say like, oh, you got to look at YouTube because then you can really tell. And it's like highlight videos don't tell you if a player is good or not. But a lot of my scouting is actually based on team. Like I start with teams first. I generally don't get players from bad teams, even if they're like the main set piece taker or whatever. I also look at set pieces a ton. I really like focusing on all around scores, and set pieces are like the easiest path to it, despite what we said yesterday about Rodri. But yeah, I tend to look at teams and leagues and recently, meaning like the last year or so, I've put a huge premium on news availability. And that doesn't necessarily mean like me finding it, but I will say a major reason, and this is probably a negative for all of the people involved, but I would say a major reason I got into Midtjylland and then branched out in this Danish Superliga and now into Norway is the Sorare Scandinavia Discord. That community is like everything you'd want out of a Sorare community, like at its peak. There's really good idea sharing and news sharing and discussion about the league and other things, including Scandinavian players elsewhere. Like everybody who is active in it is super nice and really helpful. And it's like it's a pleasure to be in there and chat with these people, because some of them just know so much. They literally like walk past players in the grocery store. I think it was Mickey who did that today. And they scout training sessions, and it's so the ease of that news for me is great because I don't speak Danish or Norwegian. And being able to get that news was a huge plus for me. And I started doing that with Argentina as well. The Sorare Argentina Discord is really, really helpful. And I have a lot of Argentina cards. And it's also why I kind of have not moved into like the J League and K League as much, because it's just, I have some cards there, some of which that I won or that I bought previously. And it's just not easy for me. In fact, it's not even neutral. It's difficult for me to get this unless I rely on like a single Patreon or something like that. And while I'm not like against that possibility, it's just, I'd rather what I have. What I have is really great. And so generally what I do, I'm almost set with like the teams that I have. Like I'm not trying to branch out to new teams in terms of like actual clubs and being like, let me go get a stack from this team. I do think that I will always, if I find a team, I'll try to get like multiple players, just because, again, I think it's easier to play that way. I do like collections. I'm not out there just be like, let me start a new collection. But I just look at like the leagues that I compete in, obviously in challengers and contenders. And I really don't do champion, mostly because I think it's more competitive than I want. And if I just don't follow the leagues that much, to be honest. Like I haven't followed the Prem seriously for a long time, basically since I started Sorare. And while they are on the site now, like it's just not maybe I'll get into it. I don't know. But I do kind of like this like hipstery feeling of like, yeah, no, Midtjylland's my team, not Man City or something. I don't know. Toby said, I think I'm set up in a way where I only need 2 teams worth of in-season contender, and then I can just slowly add pieces here and there over the fall. Maybe. Again, like Major NFC says JPL sucks for news access. It might. Toby said news availability is huge. For me, stream availability is big too. I can watch Austria and Switzerland for free in HD. Thus, I like those leagues. That makes sense. And I mean, it's actually fairly easy for me to watch a lot of leagues in the US. Like I have access to more Premier League, as weird as that sounds, more Premier League matches than people in England. And so Major NFT says it's also why I prefer MLS. It's easy to get news. The problem with MLS is that the news comes out after you want it. Ironically, this whole like ease of watching, MLS is actually less easy for me to watch because it's just not what I want to do on a Saturday night. And yeah, that's what it is. So like weekend matches, it's just not like, particularly in the summer, maybe it changes in the fall. Well, it doesn't really. And like the winter MLS isn't even on. But I was just thinking like sitting down and watching football at night is not something I do, which is why I used to love the Prem, because it started at 7 a.m. my time. And like a lot of the Danish Super League games they start on Friday. And so you get that, the Rami disappointment early on a Friday, but you can watch it. And I like it in that, like for that reason. And yeah, that's part of what I enjoy about Sorare is being able to like watch leagues that I wouldn't normally. And by normally, I mean that are not on, Saturday nights. Major NFT said Saturday night is my only free time. Well, like I'm free on Saturday night. I'm not busy, but like, yes, Z, I'm sorry. I'm out at the disco on Saturday night. No, it's more, I mean, I guess I could. No, it's really not something that I do. Like I have 3 kids. So like Saturday night, like if we have something with any of them, like we do that. But I tend to like watch some shows with my wife or something like that. It's not anything like that grand, but she couldn't care less about MLS. And so sitting down to watch Portland, St. Louis at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on a Saturday night is like, it's not on the list of things we're doing. And because so little of my Sorare entertainment value is sweating lineups or like making sure that I watch the player that I have in a lineup, that it doesn't matter to me. Like Sean is the total opposite, PSU fans too, that he's like adamant about watching as many of his players as possible. I assume because he thinks he can get something out of it, and maybe he does. I don't know. But it's just not the level of that I want to play in. I would rather pretend to watch a show with my wife on a Saturday night while I'm on Sorare Data looking for jersey mints. That's what I would rather do. Toby said, I can see it. Laird in purple shiny spandex picking apples at the disco. Sometimes I hate you guys. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so the more that Sorare becomes a game, and again, like it's always been a game, but like as prices are not as high as they used to be, people are starting to think more about winning in the game. Like games are supposed to be entertaining. And so the process of everything, and I'm not here to tell you like you can't make money in this game or whatever, but I think it remains more of an entertainment vehicle for most people. Now, winning, whatever you win, cards or essence or money, part of that is part of the entertainment. Like people who play sports bets, like most people, like almost 100% of people bet on sport, or who bet on sports either lose or just don't win enough to like make a meaningful difference. They just do it because they like want to have something on the game, make it a little more interesting. And some people put in a lot of time and effort in figuring out like what bets they want to place. And then they'll watch the game and it just becomes a little more exciting for them. And all of that realistically is just entertainment. You were going to sit down to watch a game and you're making it more entertaining by putting money on it and having more money after the game than when you started, hopefully. And Sorare works in this same way of there's an entertainment part of it that is probably much bigger than people want to give it credit for. And again, winning stuff on Sorare is entertaining. But so is all of the stuff that goes into it, the scouting or the lurking or the spying on people, seeing what they're going to do. Like there's a reason why you can make a manager watch list and we have a section that you can see all of their recent acquisitions. So you can actually see like, oh, what cards are people adding? And, or you go in, you're like, oh, so why did he pick that card up? And you're like, oh, it was a reward. He didn't actually get it. Or you see all these people speculating on transfers and you're like, oh, he's usually pretty tuned in on this team and he bought that card. So maybe, who knows? Like everybody's waiting to see Quinny buy like four versions of like some goalie. Cause you're like, oh, Celtic's going to get that guy. And that part of it is like, that's part of the entertainment. And it's okay to experience Sorare and just not always think about ROI and not always think like, I got to make my money back or how much am I going to make here? And obviously part of that is figuring out how much you want to pay for cards. Like you're going to pay for cards or trade or do whatever. But there is an entertainment in that part of it. How much should I pay for this card? If I'm going to do a trade, can I trade these cards for that one? Does that put me in a disadvantage? Am I giving up too much? Am I not giving up enough? Like all of that stuff goes into it. And I think generally more people find that part fun than don't. Like if you log into Sorare and it just seems like a slog every time to like figure out what cards to buy and all that, like this isn't the game for you. And that's okay. Like not every game is meant for everybody. And while we would love it if everybody loved Sorare in the same way that we do, it's just not the case. And so I think instead of only thinking about how much did I put in and how much do I have now? Or if I get this, will it yield me this much in this amount of time? We need to start like packaging the entertainment part into it. Now, I shouldn't ignore, like, it feels like I'm ignoring the whole, like, you need to return on this game. The reason you have to get a positive return on the game is because that's how you know you're doing well. But maybe you just want to keep playing. Maybe just keep playing and not depositing and using what you have in the game to yield enough to keep playing. Maybe that's enough. Should it be enough? That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what's enough. But like maybe the entertainment that you get out of whatever you deposited at whatever time, and you just keep running it every week. Maybe that's enough for the entertainment. Excuse me. Sorry, I fell off the chat again. Halogen said, I want to buy a Fenerbahce collection for the new season, but I don't think I can watch it in Norway. I cannot answer that question. That wasn't really a question, but I have no idea if you can. Malky said, I'm tempted to treat Sorare like a football manager challenge. Only buy floor price limiteds and try to take your team up the divisions. Only buy local players, buy promoted team collections, etc. So much scope for imagining you are a real club manager and building your own narratives. Yeah. We've said, or I've said a number of times, like there's no like single way to play Sorare. And you see all these people doing like roads to glory. I was going to say road to glories. Anyway, can I turn $20 into $1,000? Or can I turn $20 and what will I have at the end? And there's a ton of that stuff. And it's great. And there are people who are like, I want to see what I can do if I only get, I was going to call them celebration cards, but celebration cards or special edition cards or jersey mints or everybody named Andrew. I just want to play with cards with guys named Andrew or people who were just born in Denmark. Like you can do that and you can see if it works. And there's a tremendous value in playing the game like this because you're not so forced to constantly being like, am I making enough playing this game? Because feeling like pressure to return in this game starts to turn it negative. And it's like a bunch of people we've seen. Like I spent $1,000 and now I have 300 and I hate this game and I'm selling everything and Sorare is going to zero. And then you go onto social media and you try to convince everybody who's there that it's terrible and they should get out. And you pretend like you're some sort of Robin Hood or Batman or whatever. And that's actually ruining the experience for the people who are appreciating that the money that they put in was money that they were willing to lose or willing to spend on something that gives them 45 minutes, 45 hours a week, whatever the time is of entertainment throughout the week, doing something they like. Just because you lost all your money doesn't mean that everyone else did. Or if they did, maybe they were okay with it. I mean, not like okay losing all the money, but like they appreciate what they're getting out of it. That took a turn. Sorry about that. Ben said, since I'm over 100% ROI on Sorare, my enjoyment has gone up so much, but I don't think I'd have reached this point had I not been at 100%. That's fair. Ben, did you like withdraw what you put in or did you keep it in the game? Just curious. Daniel said, I think it's a similar reason why people love Football Manager. The hypothesizing, scouting, tactics, pretending to run a club is fun. Agreed. ZM said, instant feedback from the game is both great and terrible. Ben said, a guy called P10 bought a card for me a few years ago. He only uses cards with 10 serial number. Very interesting gallery. Ben, I also sold a card to that guy. I was actually just about to bring him up. I sold what was that guy's name? He was a center back from Krasnodar. And I had his limited card and I bought it because he was holding the ball. God, what was his name? It's going to be such a pain to find. Oh, I don't think he's still at Krasnodar. But let's look. Let's see if we can find this guy. What was his name? If anybody can think of it. So I had this one too, Cao Pantaleão. He also, or maybe I didn't have it, but somebody was like, wait, he has a ball too, so you have to go get it. The guy was, I'm pretty sure he was Brazilian. Oh, man. Had like a little Krasnodar stack for a while. No, was it the other Christian Ramirez? Ramirez, I think might have been his last name. Let's see. There it is. Oh, it was Christian. That Ferencvaros. So it was this guy. So I had his number 10 card. This one right here. Does P10 still own it? He does. Nothing looks sketchy there. Oh, like a little loan maybe. But yeah, so like obviously they win some cards too, but like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 is amazing. 10, 10. Do you think the 1 of 10 they pretend is like because it's 10% of 100? But like, God, this is amazing. I wonder, yeah, let's do it this way. So all of the super rares are 1 of 10. And all of the rares, he's got a messy, oh, that's not a jersey mint. That's right. And then everything else is 10. So 1 of 10's on the super rare, 10 of 100 on the rares. And this is how he plays. I have no idea if he's any good. Let's see. Is he won any? And so what we are doing right now is part of the entertainment value of Sorare data of, oh, let's look at this guy. Wow, look at all these cards. That's really cool. Has he won anything? Like won an Arda Guler. That's so cool. I wonder if he wins any 10s. Ooh, Sakai, that's too bad. A little Shankland, Body of Shield, Claudio Bravo, Santi Rodriguez. Let's go. Like, you can make it work. He's playing on his terms. Thankfully for him, 10 is not a number. I mean, obviously there's some jersey mints that that become expensive because they're 10. Oh, he's won Santi Rodriguez twice. LGP, Cambadio. I was going to buy him the other day. Yeah, this is cool. So anyway, so this is a perfect example of us spending time looking at this and like admiring this guy's gallery and then looking at the rewards that he's won and then recognizing that they're playing on their terms. I want to play with cards that have 10 on them. Let's go. And this is it. And you can spend all this time looking at the market and being like, all right, what else is out there of 10s? Actually, do we even have that? Can you do serial number? I don't think so. You'll have to use the card finder. Is that Scout? Yeah. Cards. Filter by serial number. And like, you could just search for all the 10 of 10s or 10 of 100s. It's probably going to take forever because there are so many cards. But anyway. And like, that's what you can do. And there's your entertainment. And if like some of this stuff is because, you know, you're part of your Sorare data membership, like consider that as part of your cost of entertainment. Oh, sorry. Here we go. There are a bunch of like 10 ofs. Ian Frey? Is it Ian or Ian? I don't even know. I wonder what order these are all in. I have no idea. But these are all the 10s that P10 could possibly look for. There's probably an on sale. Card is on sale. Man, we think of everything. Let's see. Let's see what we got. You can be sure he'll never play uniques. Yeah. Daniel said, I've been away from Sorare for too long. I bought a center back from Krasnodar, made me laugh at how random and niche the players we buy are. There is absolutely no way that you can take Sorare even semi-seriously and not exponentially grow your football knowledge. Like, I think I've told this story before. I have a friend who's a New York City FC supporter, season ticket holder. I wonder why Dominic Fitz jersey mint is showing up a bunch. That's a fun one. Toby, if you want to stay in rares, that's a real fun one. A little Rusnox. Oh, no, it's not a jersey mint. 10F, excuse me. I'm going to start buying 10Fs now by accident. Anyway, Ben said if P10 didn't know this feature existed, then you've changed his life. Maybe. Anyway, so my friend is a New York City FC supporter, season ticket holder. And when New York City FC signed Thiago Martins, I was like, oh yeah, Thiago Martins is pretty good. He was playing in the the J League. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, yeah, he was over in Japan. And like, he read that and he was just like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, he was like Yokohama. And he's like, how the hell do you know that? And I was like, so rare, man. Like, what do you mean, how do I know that? And the worst part is that Thiago Martins was actually pretty good at Yokohama. Like, he wasn't a smasher, but like pretty good in his starts. 54 in starts. Not many decisives, 5 conceded penalties, which, you know, happens when you're a center back. But he's actually been like really bad at New York City FC, and he's like he like took that out on my Sorare scout. He's like, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about because this guy sucks. Now he's going to the All-Star game, which I texted my friend immediately when I saw that he was making it, because like neither of us think he's actually that good. But it's one of those things that you pick up when the random guy from the Eredivisie who's signed with Liverpool, and you're like, I know exactly who Cody Hakpo is. And I know that you say it Hakpo because I watch Sam Tai. It's not Gakpo. But it's those things that, I mean, maybe you'll impress some people. Who knows? I don't think it's going to get you laid anywhere, but maybe it will. Sorry. Ben said 2,500 pounds put in the game in September 2022 and withdrew 2,500 in 2023 and still have 1,000-pound gallery. That's great. Did you withdraw so that you could put it right back in and keep playing? Florenzi, what's up? Checking in from Twitch. Appreciate everybody who's watching from Twitch. I think most people are on YouTube. You can watch on either one if you want. We're live there. And yeah, we're on live at Sorare Data, also on Twitter, X, whatever. So if you want to watch in any of those places, then yeah, you can. We'll probably keep doing that just because why not? Ben said, my non-Sorare friends ask me to look up players on Sorare Data that clubs are linked with this transfer window. They see it as a better resource than Transfer Market to look up players. And I think one of the really cool things about the Sorare scoring matrix is people who, like, I think it's a very good representation of people who are good in real life. And it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect. But even if you just look at like the Sofa Score ratings or who scored, like after those matches, they're very similar to Sorare scores. And I think there is a possibility that like Sorare scores become like a known game rating system. And then we're all sitting there like, yeah, we've known this the whole time. Major NST said, totally need the t-shirt. Sorare won't get you laid, but it's fun. ZM Star said, my Segunda Division knowledge has gotten me laid. Granted, I am married and it was to get me to shut up. That's not where I thought this was going. Congrats on the sex. Anyway, Halogen said, I have to hold back in Euros conversations to not sound like too much of a nerd. Like, how do I explain that I know Leverkusen's tactical system in every transfer under the sun? I don't think you need to hide that. I think that's fine, particularly with a team like Leverkusen. Like, it's more like when you are trying to impress somebody by knowing exactly how Guangzhou plays. And that's when they're like, that what happens when you play Sorare? It might be. But yeah, like I basically know more now about Midtjylland and the Danish Super League than any other league in the world. Not that I know more about it than anyone else, but like that's the league I am most familiar with because of Sorare. Malky said, that's Amore Beata. That's a great one. Shout out Dean Martin. Anyway, we got 5 minutes to this next game. Does anybody, let me just make sure my rivals lineup is set. As I get a notification, are you avoiding Austria-Turkey? Scared or what? Answer your 18 challenge requests. I tend not to answer them. Join, let me see here. I'm not going to show you guys because, oh, that's nice that I have 2 guys on the bench and got no notification from Sorare about it. All right, let's go. Sorry, hold on. I know this is really good content, particularly those who are listening. Thoughts on Thiago Almada? Bad buy now. He goes to Brazil. Hold on 1 second. Boy, these tactics are terrible. Anyway, I assume that Almada ends up at Lyon. Is that who also owns Botafogo? So I think it's just a temporary one. I don't think he gets better in Brazil. So I don't think he is a great buy. I'm not looking to buy him. Brazil does play a ton though. Ben said, how are your rivals leagues doing? None of them are doing well. The best league I'm in is 249th, and I'm 12th in that league. So not great. ZM Star said those push notifications about challenges are like asking for tips everywhere. That's a great line. I don't accept them usually. I'm just my one arena match, and then I keep going. I don't see the point of like challenging random people. Oh, it's all entertainment. Maybe that's right. Shout out Trip and B. Welcome in. Trip, are you getting that Bronico Super Jersey Mint? It's on the market right now. Auction. I don't know. I assume you did a 2023 collection. Let's take our time to just check on Trip and B and see if he did a collections. Charlotte 2024 rare, 27 of 31. I'm guessing he has the one of. Where is Bronico? Oh my God. Trip. The Bronico Jersey Mint is on the market right now. Hold on. Isn't it? Oh, here it is. Which one? 13. Here it is. Rares, I have mostly ones and then a few jerseys. You need this card. Nobody outbid Trip on this card. He deserves this card. Let him have it. But anyway, there it is, Trip. Please go bid on it. It's not part of your collection. Should be. Meaning you don't have Bronico. Go get it. Bid is in. Hell yeah. Let's go. Oh, where'd it go? Let me just check. I don't see the bid. The bid is not in. Oh, there we go. Whew. Less than a minute ago. All right. Good luck. Go get that one. Is there another Swiderski on the market? Not an auction. Did they really do that? No. Okay. Oh, it's Cosmos. No, let's not do that. Diani Jersey Mint. Too nice. Oh, Go get him, Trip. Simo, what's up? Thanks for coming in right at the end. Unless you've been here the whole time and you just like pulled over to say what's up. Either way, appreciate you coming in. I'm going to go now because there's going to be a football match starting soon that I'm sure everybody's dying to watch. Austria, Turkey. I probably am not going to watch it, to be honest. Might go for a bike ride. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. If everybody wouldn't mind, if you are on Twitch, if you could just go over to twitch.tv/Sorare Data Show. If you could just subscribe or follow, whatever the hell they do over there, just to boost the numbers a little bit. It's going to be helpful for a few things that we have planned in a little bit. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Good luck with all your rivals and all your regular matches. I'll be back tomorrow with Harry Trades for the game week preview. And I think I'll do a show later in the day as well. Thursday, no show. Independence Day here in the US. So I paint myself red, white, and blue and I go outside. And so no show, but I'll be back Friday as well. So thank you, everybody, and good luck out there.